Hi everyone, welcome back to the RetroBreak Podcast. Welcome to episode 58, and I'm so happy to be back. I just haven't found the time to record an episode recently, but I've got so much to catch you guys and girls up on. But let's first start off with my big new project that I'm going through at the minute, which is my Nintendo launch history video series. And I've honestly had the best time researching for these videos over the past few months. They haven't done very well views-wise, but I do think that they'll pick up over time. But honestly, that's not the point. I'm doing these videos entirely because I just absolutely love the whole process from beginning to end. And also, these were kind of a test to see whether it would be possible for me to make these bigger documentary-style videos one week after the other. And I have to say that the entire reason I haven't been able to do any podcasts or streams is because of those videos. But it is possible, and I managed to come up with a really good process of basically doing all the research for the episodes over the weekend and sometimes stretching into Monday and Tuesday. But as long as I had a hard deadline of getting the actual on-camera bit and the script read out loud, at least in time for the end of Wednesday, that gave me Thursday evening basically to edit the video and get it ready to upload on Friday. And it has been a very tight schedule, but I'm 5 videos in now and I haven't missed one yet, and there's only 2 more to go. I've been researching for the Wii U one today, and I found some incredibly fascinating things related to that console, so I can't wait to work more on that video over the week. But yeah, basically this whole series has been a big experiment to see whether it was possible for me to actually do this without going completely insane, and it does mean that I've basically put everything else on hold, but I've come up with a great process. So basically what I've been doing is, for the first day or two of research, it was easier for the earlier consoles because I've got books that explain all of this history, but for some of the more recent things from the Wii onwards, those kind of history books don't really exist yet. And I feel like it is about time for the Wii version of those history books to start coming out, so maybe we'll see that in the next year or two. But basically, I would either go through the different reference material that I've got physically in book form, or have a look at things like old E3 press conferences and interviews with Nintendo employees and developers around the time. And instead of writing a regular script, which is what I would normally do, I actually opened up Keynote, which is basically Apple's version of PowerPoint, and I was basically breaking down the slides into the timeline for the video. So it would start with, let's say for example with the N64 one, it would start with 1991, and then it would have a few bullet points on that slide, and then it would move over to the next one, and depending on how much information for that year I'd got, it would either go over to the next year, or it would be a new set of bullet points and some images for me to talk about as well. And that process has just been so much fun for me to fill out those presentation slides and then to read them out loud in front of the camera, and it really has simplified the process immensely, which was the main reason that I stopped doing history videos in the first place. So now that I've found this new process to easily basically do a few days of research and get it in a format that's so easy to digest and then present on camera, and the rest can be fixed in editing later on, I'm just so happy that I've managed to find that, and I think it's going to be able to open up the possibilities to making bigger videos faster in the future. And I've also learnt a lot more new editing techniques as well in the meantime since I've been making these. I found a really great plugin for Final Cut. It's called Command Post, and basically you can press a button combination on the keyboard to bring up a search bar, but instead of just searching the computer, it actually searches all of the different effects that you can do within Final Cut. So I've basically made presets for all of the backgrounds, all of the title, transitions and everything like that. And I can literally just press Option Space and then type in what I want. So I've got one called RB Title. So I just type in RB, press Enter, and immediately the entire layout for the title, including the transition at the start, the font, the colour, the scale of it as well, everything's just there automatically, and all I need to do is edit the text. And the same with the background and the perspective blur and things. And honestly, it's taken what would have been like a 3-day editing process down to something that I can do in one evening. So that's basically been my Thursdays, just as soon as I finish work, open up Final Cut and really get locked in, get into the zone and make these history videos. Sometimes I've been staying up until like 2 o'clock at night to get it finished and uploaded, but I think it's worth it in the long run. And even though I was complaining that it hasn't had many views, the people that have watched it have left some incredible comments, and it's really motivated me to keep going and finish off this series. And eventually what I plan to do is, once the entire series is finished, is to try and sort of re-edit it all into one big video and call it a full documentary of the history of every Nintendo's home console. Obviously, I'll come up with a snappier title than that, but that is the goal at the end of all of this. So hopefully that bigger video will do better. And I even had thoughts of like turning it into a Blu-ray style documentary release that can actually be bought physically as well. Anyway, that's it for the Nintendo history lesson. Let's have a look at some of the many other things that I've been doing since I made the last one of these podcast episodes. There's so much really fun stuff that's been going on. So let's start off with a video that I made a few weeks ago where I actually bought myself a Windows XP laptop, and despite the trouble of actually trying to get it to work, I had a great time once I did, and I got to re-experience a whole bunch of my favourite games from when I was a kid, including one that holds a very special memory for me called Trudy's Time and Place House. And since I've released that video, every time I go and see my parents, my dad just keeps asking me whether I've been playing Trudy's Time and Place House. It's like the only game that he remembers me playing as a kid, so that's really funny. And it was really fun to re-experience those games and realise just how basic they actually are, yet somehow I spent hundreds of hours on them and knew no better. I thought they were great fun at the time. So yeah, that Windows XP machine was so much fun, and it was really fun to do that video, and the video's gone down really well. And I really want to do a follow-up as well to experience some of the other games that I had, because there's a lot more that I didn't include in that video. As well as that, I also got the N64 EverDrive, and since that video, I also got the N64 Summer Cart as well, which is something that a lot of people in the video were telling me I needed to get in the comments. They were saying how much better it was than the EverDrive, and I've been using them both, and yeah, I do plan on doing a video at some point in the future, but there's not actually as many changes as I thought there would be. Although it is cool to experience all of the 64DD games using a regular N64. I would love to get an official 64DD at some point in the future though. Maybe next time I'm in Japan, which is going to be happening next year, because officially we are going there for our honeymoon after me and Sarah get married, which is in April next year. So hopefully at some point later on in the year next year we'll be going back to Japan, and I can't wait for that. It's going to be so much fun. And planning for the wedding as well, that's something that I've been doing quite a bit. So we've had our first wedding meeting where we'll basically go and see the run through of the day and how it's going to go, where all the guests will be seated, when I get to do my speech, where I'm supposed to arrive in the morning, all that fun stuff. And now I've got to reach out to the photographer and videographer. So obviously expect a vlog on the second channel, because I'm so excited for that day. I really can't wait. And I've got a really fun way of inviting people as well, which I need to start working on soon. So yeah, wedding planning is coming on well. It's just under a year's time until that happens. I wonder how many podcast episodes I'll get out until that happens. So yeah, wedding's going well. Let's see what else here. Went to the London gaming market. That's always really fun. Got to meet a load of great people, including people who enjoy watching my content online. So it's always fun to catch up with you guys in the real world and to actually get to talk about what you enjoy with my content. It's very different to just reading names on a screen. So I really do appreciate everyone who comes up to say hi. And I picked up some really rare and expensive games from there as well. One of the games, well, two games actually I picked up that I've been after for a long time for the Game Boy Advance. They were the two Summon Night games, Swordcraft Story 1 and 2, and I finally started playing Swordcraft Story yesterday on the Game Boy Micro, and it does really seem like a very good game so far. I'm only about 2 hours in, so I haven't really experienced much of what the game's actually about, but the graphics are great, the way the story's written's great, I love the crafting mechanics, the dungeon design seems really cool, so honestly at this point I just can't fault it at all. Even the music was really cool as well, which is a rarity for GBA, so definitely going to be playing more of that soon, and potentially doing a video on the two games at some point in the future, although I haven't recorded my playthrough just yet because I've been playing it in the garden because the weather's been really nice, so I've actually been sat outside playing it on the GBA. And more cool stuff in the world of Game Boy, I actually found a complete in box Game Boy Color, the lime green one, which is the one that I used to have as a kid and is one that I've been searching for at all of these gaming markets, but I've never actually been able to find it before, and I was just Well, actually, my sister found it. She was looking around the charity shops down in Ironbridge, which is near where we live, and she sent me a photo and said that there's a Game Boy Color in the cabinet, and it was the exact one that I'd been looking for. So I got in the car and drove down there straight away and picked it up, and the lady behind the counter was quite surprised that I would spend that much on something so old, and she had no idea why I wanted it, but I explained it to her and said it was one that I had as a kid, and it was going to be featured in a video, and she was very excited about that. So that was nice, and I'm really happy to finally have that. It's in great condition. It has the manual. The box is really nice. It's not sun damaged at all. And the console inside was in great condition too. So I'm actually saving that for my 50,000 subscribers video, which, fingers crossed, should be coming in the next month or two. I'm getting very close now. I've just passed 49,000 and I'm so excited because I am almost halfway to a silver play button. And that is just my life's ambition, honestly, at this point, is to get a silver play button on YouTube. And it doesn't feel like it's an impossible task anymore. So I'm so excited for that. And I really hope you all join me for the rest of the journey up until that point and beyond, obviously. What else have we been up to? I've been to a lot of conventions. We went to MegaCon, which is what MCM turned into after they got bought out by ReedPop. And then the original creators of MCM started their own event, which is basically exactly the same as MCM, but with less corporate stuff. So that was quite fun. We went to that, and there was another event called KokoroCon, which was actually put on by my friend Alex, and we've been friends for years. We went to school together, and it was so cool to see him hosting his own show as well. And we both agreed, me and Sarah both agreed, that it was the best convention we'd ever been to. It was so different to something like MCM or MegaCon. It was actually hosted in a hotel, and it was spread across 3 days. And basically, because it was in the hotel, people were actually staying there, so the event could go on until the early hours of the morning, and the entire hotel was booked out as well, so you didn't need to worry about any other guests being there. And it was just so much fun. There were so many really cool panels put on throughout the weekend as well. And our table, our art stall, did incredibly well too. And it was just so much fun for me to see my friend Alex up on stage and doing all the different shows. And the most exciting thing was actually that Johnny from Crush 40 was there as well. The lead singer who sang some of my all-time favourite video game music was there. And unfortunately, we had to leave a little bit early on the Sunday, so we couldn't stay to watch his performance, which is very sad. But I did get to meet him and talk to him for a little bit, and he got one of Sarah's posters in the end too, which is fantastic. And he's actually going to be at another Sonic event later on in the year, which we're also going to, which is at a hotel in London, I believe. So really looking forward to that too. But KokoroCon was just amazing, and I've got some footage on my camera, so potentially I could turn a little bit into a blog or vlog, and maybe I can sort of include a few different Comic Cons throughout the year and do something over on the second channel with that too. What else have we been up to? We went to the beach when I went to visit Sarah's family in Wales. We took her nieces and nephews to the beach with us, along with our dog, so that was really fun. And for London MCM, I'm also planning to do a cosplay as well for the first time in a long time. So we've been watching Apothecary Diaries, and Sarah absolutely loves that show, and she's somehow roped me into cosplaying as Jinshi. So hopefully my costume turns up in time, and hopefully that will be quite fun as well. And the most recent thing that I wanted to talk about in this podcast is the fact that we went to the Animal Crossing Sea Life event, which was hosted at Sea Life in Birmingham a few weeks ago. And I literally just uploaded a vlog to my second channel just now. So check the link in the description if you want to watch that. We had a great time there. It was really fun to see all of the Animal Crossing specific things and just to see all of the different sea life there as well. Penguins are my favourite. Let me know what your favourite sea life creatures are down in the comments below. But usually in these podcast episodes, I talk about the games that I've been playing recently. Literally, I've barely had time to play anything because I've been so focused on this Nintendo History series. Like I said, I played a little bit of Summon Night Swordcraft Story on the GBA. I only really started that yesterday, but there's got to be more that I've played since I did the last one of these episodes, which was like 2 months ago, right? I've been playing Omori, actually. That's something that one of our friends has made some standees for, which I thought looked really cool, and it kept reminding me every time I saw them that Omori is a game that I've wanted to play for so long now, and I'm really glad that I finally started playing it. I'm only about 6 or 7 hours in maybe, and the story only just seems like it's starting to pick up as well, so it does seem like a slow burn kind of game. And compared to some of the RPG Maker games that I'm used to playing, which are a lot more story focused, it's kind of interesting to play one that actually has a battle system and like experience points and actual gameplay mechanics as well. So it's really cool to see how all that's woven into this sort of emotional storytelling at the same time, and I'm really enjoying it, and I definitely am planning on playing that all the way through to the end. But apart from Omori and Summon Night, I've played a little bit of Star Fox Zero on the Wii U, actually, which is kind of an interesting pick. But after doing my Wii U episode last week, I really wanted to play that system again because I really do like the Wii U, despite how badly it sold. And I really do enjoy Star Fox Zero as well. I actually think the controls are really good, which is kind of a rare opinion if you take a look at how people feel about Star Fox Zero online. But I'm having a blast with it, pun intended. And I'm almost at the end, and I really loved it. I got it the day it came out, and I really, really enjoyed that game. I honestly thought it was better than Lilac Wars, so I was really surprised to see the kind of negative feedback to that. And maybe that's worthy of a video in the future. It's almost about to turn 10 years old, so maybe for the 10th anniversary I could go back and revisit Star Fox Zero and see what was good, and potentially some of the issues that it faced as well with getting mainstream acceptance, and why there hasn't really been another Star Fox Zero game, or Star Fox in general, game since, actually. And I really hope we see more Star Fox on the Switch too, because there hasn't been anything on the original Switch, I don't think, outside of a few Virtual Console releases anyway. And I guess that about wraps it up for this podcast. I didn't really have that much else to talk about. There has been a lot that's been going on, and I'm just really happy with how things are going in general. I'm really excited about almost getting 50,000 subscribers, and doing the Animal Crossing vlog on my second channel has just kind of reignited my passion for just making videos in general, whether they're gaming related or not. So maybe you'll see some more videos over on the second channel in the future as well. I would love to try and do more over there. I've been going down a rabbit hole of looking at new cameras and lenses and all that stuff that you can easily get sucked into if you like making videos, and I just absolutely love that whole side of it as well. So anyway, thank you for sticking with me on the podcast. Hopefully it won't be another 2 months until the next episode. But that's about it for now. Join my Discord if you want to chat with the community. I actually revamped it recently, which is really cool, and people really seem to like that. So it's a lot more simple than it used to be. So go to retrobreak.co.uk and click on the Discord button at the top to join me over there. Thank you so much for listening, and follow the podcast wherever you listen to the podcast, and I'll speak to you all again very soon, I guess. Goodbye. Now I'm off to bed because I got to go back to work tomorrow. How sad. All right. Bye, everyone.